hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to Night School. Every night here on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel, we hold Night School, where we break down the most controversial topics, the most engaging debates, the most controversial subjects going on in the world today. And tonight absolutely is no different. I want to thank y'all for rocking with me last night, man. We had a good long show where we talked about all kinds of stuff, and I'll make sure that that content goes up, not just as the whole show, which y'all saw, but in some separate parts, because we talked about everything from politics to pop culture. We talked about soul music. We broke down some of the coolest things going on in the R&B world. We had just a lot of fun last night. Tonight, we're going to talk about some other issues, some campus unrest at the HBCUs. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and his attack on education. We're going to talk about Black joy and what that means in terms of Black joy builds. So we're going to break it all down, man. But I'm just happy to see y'all here. I'm happy to be here with y'all. Long day at the Joe Budden podcast. As you know, these Tuesdays be exhausting because they be draining your brother, you know, but in a good way. I'm happy to build my family over there. I'm happy to come back home and build with y'all and have these great conversations. And so that's what we finna do. Make sure you drop your name in. Let me know your name, your first name, your last name. Let me know your city that you're coming in from, maybe the state, if not the country. After all, we are a global classroom. I'm so glad to see y'all, man. Welcome to the new members. You know, I'm seeing a lot of people coming here. They're watching the videos. They're coming over. They're watching me on JBP. They're coming over. They're seeing me on Al Jazeera. They're coming over. Some of y'all just stumbling into it. Wherever you're coming from, we're glad to have you. We're glad to see you, man. Welcome, including you. Let's see. Adrienne, is that your name? Who said that this is her second class. That's so dope. Karen D said, did you wear that show on the JBP? I did. I absolutely did wear this on the JBP, man. So you see me front and center rocking this wonderful shirt, which I believe I got from, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I think I know, but I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I won't. But I'll shout out. I'll do a tag. I'll do a tag and shout them out at some point. So I want y'all to see it. Jeremiah Muhammad, shout out to you, brother. Not just for your support of the channel, but for graduating soon next month. This brilliant brother working on some amazing graduate things, becoming one of the emerging young scholars in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. Bullet the Bunny, as always, is on bullshit. She got the jokes on 10 already. Said, I have my pink highlighter and I'm furiously taking notes. Yo, homeboy that came on this show a few days ago and was furiously debating that the earth wasn't round, the earth was flat, and that Mexico means mixed and all this other stuff. He's still going. I had to finally kind of mute him and ignore him. But we've gotten so many jokes. I mean, so many jokes off of him in the last 4 or 5 days. So he wanted to be on that Summer Jam screen. So I hope it worked out for him the way he wanted it to. It definitely worked out for me the way I needed it to. So shout out to him. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to everybody, man. I got time for some questions and answers too after we cover these stories. So if you have an important question or urgent question or an interesting question or controversial question, all you got to do is hit that super chat and drop something in, and I got you. You know, Tanya or Tonia Tamika said, dude wants to be the one who took Marc Lamont Hill down. Yeah, I think he does. I think he does, man. I think he has an idea about what he thinks potting is supposed to look like, and YouTubing is supposed to look like, and content creation is supposed to look like. And, you know, you don't have to do it that way. You can make content without being a dick, you know, or you can make content by being yourself. Some people are dicks, but you know, I don't know who he is or what he is, but I know doing these performances is not a good thing. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Black Omni, you right, bro. I do look tired. You know, I look tired because I'm You probably just jumped on, but I've been potting all day. I literally did 8 hours of a Joe Budden podcast today to put together some great shows, to help put together some great shows with an amazing team of people. Shout out to the whole JBP team. Not to mention all the life that be life, and so it's been a hell of a day. Anyway, let's get to some of this stuff that y'all actually came to hear me talk about. I'm going to start on the HBCU front because I think it's so important to talk about some of the things that are going on our campuses and how we as a people, as a community, etc., are responding to them. I think all of it is super, super important. So we're gonna get to it. Let's talk about it. Where am I? Forgive me, y'all. I have a little tech difficulty. Okay, here we go. They got mold in the air vents, brown water in the sinks. I mean, this is challenging for me to even hear. They got mice in the halls, and somehow, despite all of this unacceptable condition that people are forced to engage in, students are the ones getting locked up. It sounds crazy, right? And to be clear, I'm talking about North Carolina Central University. 5 people, including students, even a professor, just caught charges after protesting the unsafe and nasty living conditions on campus. This story has not been in your news feeds. I can almost guarantee you don't know this story. And I wonder why. I mean, the details are crazy. Dorms with busted ACs, broken washers, folk literally getting stuck in elevators. One student even said that she got sick from the mold. But instead of fixing the mess, which would be too much like right, the university decided to call, that's right, the cops. It's absolutely ridiculous and disturbing, but I got more to say. This group of people arrested are now known as the Durham Five. And Atlanta Black Star took some photos of what was going on. I want to show you just a couple of them so you can see what I'm talking about here. This is the police. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is absurd. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to show you some more. Look at this. This is the reality that these students at Central are dealing with. And now they're trying to paint this as a, quote, unauthorized protest. But the only thing that's unauthorized is folks paying tuition and living like this. One of the organizers, by the way, is being hit with a felony for allegedly kicking a cop. And we know what happens. Cops try to arrest you. If you just defend yourself or act with normal human instincts and say you attack the cop, you know, they'll be dragging you out and your legs are flying. You graze a cop and say, oh, you kicked the cop. I don't know what happened, but that's often the case. Others are being charged just for refusing to disperse. Meanwhile, the school's chancellor says she's advocating for $100 million in repairs. But that money ain't landed yet. And let's be clear, these students, they're not just wilding. They're not out here just tripping. They're not just making trouble. They are trying to live in reasonably healthy, normal conditions. They don't live in filth. And I can't say I blame them. And if you've ever been to an HBCU, or if your children have been to an HBCU, you already know this ain't about just dorms. It's about dignity. It's about keeping this beautiful tradition alive and honoring it. And when Black youth speak up, somehow, instead of saying, hey, maybe they're saying something important, instead of helping respond properly, instead, they call the police. And this is where we got to be honest about some things. You know, it's not just the PWI that does that. It's not just the white institution that does that. We often criminalize our students when they resist after saying that we're building strong leaders. Well, strong leadership says when the conditions are like this, we resist, we point it out, we fight, we protest. So instead of criminalizing these students, why don't we deal with the issue? And also, since we're talking about it, hey, Donald Trump, since you say you're the HBCU boss, that you've done more for HBCUs than anybody else, and when all you Negroes that were out here parroting that ridiculous take, Why don't you ask Donald Trump why they haven't sent these funds? Why they haven't bailed him out? Why they haven't supported him? This is shameful. But family, this is why it's also important to support HBCUs. It's not enough to wear the hat. It's not enough to rock the t-shirt. It's not enough to show up at homecoming. If you're going to be about this HBCU, like the thing I say about Black Greek letter organizations, if you're going to be about these organizations, it can't just be an affective connection. It can't be just an emotional connection. It has to be a financial connection. Because if it ain't that, then what we talking about? If it ain't that, then what are we talking about? I can't say that enough. All right. Let's move on to another story. By the way, if you have a different take, let me know. Baby K said this country is a Ponzi scheme. Yo, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Oh, Harry Hill dropped a great question in the chat. You know what? I'm gonna take that question on right now before we even move to the next story. Do you think these are the best of times or the worst of times for Blacks in America? Salute. Here's what I'll tell you. Let me start with the latter first. It's definitely not the worst of times. You can't tell me that any condition we're facing right now is comparable to Jim Crow. And you can't tell me that any condition we're facing is comparable to legalized enslavement. Knowing what our ancestors have been through, it would be disrespectful to their memory to say that what we're going through is worse. And for this to be the worst of times, it would have to be worse than the previous time. So I'm saying no, no. But is it the best of times? That's interesting. If you're talking about access to capital, if you're talking about education, I mean, there's a case that can be made that this is the most prosperous, the most fruitful, the most powerful Black people have ever been. And I think that's a good argument. I don't think that's a wrong argument. But I think there's more we got to think about, right? We got to also think, what is the moment where we've been the most assured of victory? Where's the moment where we were most poised to resist and to create revolution? What was the moment where we were the most cohesive and coherent and together as a community? And that might not be now. We could look at moments like the 60s. We could look at moments like the 50s. We could look at moments like the 70s. So while I think we have the best economic conditions and the most prosperity by most traditional measures that we've ever had, this moment is complicated and messy. And if you mean including a forward-looking vision, because I'm looking at what Adrian says, right? I don't think we've had the best of times yet. If you say this is the best we will ever have, then I'd say absolutely not, because I'm always looking forward. I'm always looking to history as a guide of what's possible, but I'm also looking like, we've been through so much. We've succeeded and overcome so much. We could do so much more. We could do so much more. So let's do it. You dig? Let's do it. 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 All right. Anyway, we got more questions coming. Please drop your questions in the comment well. Super chats again. We love you. We need you. That's how we pay these bills. We're getting toward the end of the month, y'all. We could use the financial support. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right. Let's talk about these student loan payments, because Donald J. Trump, he's president, whatever. He's coming for your check. He's coming for your taxes. He might even be coming for your grandmama's Social Security. The Biden pause, which was placed on student loan collections, it's over. It is over. Officially done. Starting on May 5th, the feds are turning the lights back on, and they're going full throttle after 5 million borrowers. 5 million are in default on their student loans. Now, if you thought the pandemic era freeze was still holding you down, it's not. The Treasury offset program is back. meaning they can now snatch your tax refund, they can garnish your wages, and they can even take your government benefits to collect their bread. Now, according to Education Secretary Linda McMahon, and I can't believe I have to say Education Secretary Linda McMahon, that sounds crazy. Debt forgiveness is dead on arrival under Donald Trump. And here's the kicker. Donald Trump just signed an executive order to shut down the entire education department. It would obviously take an act of Congress to officially do that. So what he does is he just drains it. He just depletes it. He shrinks it to a point of ineffectiveness because he don't really care about rule of law. And Trump wants to hand over that $1.8 trillion student loan bag to the Small Business Association. Like this isn't intergenerational or generational, at least, economic warfare. And it's very clear, very clear, very, very clear who this impacts the most. Look at this. Y'all see this? Maybe you don't see it. I mean, zoom in so y'all can really see what's going on here. Look at this. This is who is affected the most. It's Black wealth extraction in real time. And for all the folks who thought student debt was just a bad personal choice, just wait till they come for your paycheck. Wait till they come for your check. It's a predatory loan system designed to trap you, and now they're coming to collect this unfair debt. What do we do? What should we do? These are fair questions. But please understand, Donald Trump killing the Ed Department while killing all chances of loan forgiveness is not a coincidence, man. He's setting us up for a special kind of failure and a special kind of economic collapse. And again, it's not racially neutral. Even when a law is neutral on its face, in practice, it's something else. This is disproportionate, as the data showed, undermining the life chances of Black people and brown people. Let me just say that. All right, let's move on to another story. Black joy. It's here. We've always had Black joy. We've always had ways of articulating ourselves and our identity and holding on to the best of us against the backdrop and against the currents of oppression and violence and hate in a world that despises us. We have managed to hold on to our joy. That's what makes Black people so extraordinary. But that means that we have to understand that Black folks ain't just surviving. We're thriving, and we're thriving because we are architecting our own joy. I want to take y'all to Indianapolis, where the annual Gang Gang Black Joy Festival is turning up and turning out bigger than ever before. And not with a handout, with a blueprint. They just launched the Brick by Brick Fund, flipping donations that are received into literal building blocks for a celebration that centers not Black struggle, but Black abundance. Isn't that a nice idea for once? It's not about charity. It's about community currency. You got churches like Witherspoon Presbyterian throwing in $1,500 a pop to lock in legacy. And you got thousands of everyday folks who are not just showing up, they showing up to show out. And they're not just doing that. They are bringing the food, they're bringing the music, and they are crying literally for straight up freedom in the air. Gang Gang is not waiting for permission to be who we are. They're making space for Black culture, a Black culture that thrives out loud, a Black culture that has no apology, a Black culture that has no permission slip. And let's be clear, this is not just about vibes. Sometimes we do stuff that's just about the vibes. No, this is about economic impact too. $350,000 already pumped into the city from joy alone. Now that is the kind of Black power I'm trying to get down with. So yeah, while systems still try to keep us boxed in, this crew is out here buying bricks and building something sacred. And that's why it matters. That's why it's working. And that's why Black joy is part of Black revolutionary resistance. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, family, we got some comments coming in. I want to take one more of these at least. We got one here from Baby Cave said, how do we support the students? I'm presuming that question is for the students of NC Central. And the answer is, one, we have to make this story known. So use your social media platforms when you hear the story to spread this story, because too many people don't know that this is happening. If we want to support students through donations, we should be donating to HBCUs. If you went to one, donate to the one you went to. If you didn't, donate to some of these other ones. And don't just donate to the bougie ones. Don't just donate to the name brand ones. Don't just donate to the designer ones, right? Like we all say Morehouse, Spelman, Hampton, Howard, Tuskegee, maybe, certainly Grambling, FAMU, you know. But if we all give our money to Howard, and Howard deserves our money to do extraordinary things. If we all give our money to Morehouse, Morehouse does extraordinary things. If we all give our money to Clark Atlanta, then who's looking out for the NC Centrals? Who's looking out, you know, for the Meharry medical colleges? Who's looking out for the Lincolns and the Cheneys and the Dell States? Who's looking out for us if we're only donating to the elites? So support the schools. Also, demand from our politicians that they support us, that they support who we are. Karma Serene said we went to the bougie one. I get that. I ain't mad at you. If you went to the bougie one, like I said, if you went to one, support the one that you went to. But if you didn't, don't be saying you went to a PWI, but you're giving all your money to Morehouse. I mean, you can, and it's not a bad thing to give all your money to Spelman. But just don't forget that Morris Brown is up the street. You get what I'm saying? Don't forget that there are over 100 HBCUs in this country. It's not the 5 y'all know. It's not the 5 we brag about. Send somebody to Norfolk State. They could use it. Let's be honest about this. Anyway, Jazz LP said, if they garnish your wages, contact me and I'll show you how to lift the garnishment protest and possibly get your payment reduced to $5 a month. Whoa. I don't know how she gonna do that, but if that was fine to say that, then I believe it. So please, if you getting your wages garnished, reach out to Jazz LP and make that thing happen, because we could use that. Bullet the Bunny said, do you have a Parable of the Sower-esque go bag and bug out plan for you and yours? No details necessary, but I'm curious how far you are personally. I have both full disclosure. I don't think I do. I don't have one yet. Maybe I'm a prisoner of hope, or a prisoner of, I just trust that things are gonna work out the way it's supposed to. But no, I don't. And again, I probably should, but I don't. I don't, Bullet. I don't. Any other questions before we go? Camo Gang said, we need you in the Sunday drop of JVP. Look, everything in due time. We'll see what happens. You know, I love doing the show, and I imagine that, you know, things will grow. You know, it might be doing more episodes. It might not be. It might be doing fewer episodes. We're doing them better. I'm just trying to go with the flow. Right now, I'm just happy to be part of the team. I'm happy with the work that we do every day. And I'm excited to just be in this space, man. So dope. Let me also say, I'm super excited to be in this space. I feel very proud, very excited, just super good about night school and what we're up to. So if you want to keep supporting night school, y'all, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I don't think y'all understand how much support, how much love, how much power comes from hitting the like button and the subscribe button. And of course, family, please consider that join button. We got another comment coming in. Briscoe the King said, my alma mater, NCCU, has always had housing issues. It's hard for the university to expand because the university is in the middle of a neighborhood. I feel that. And unlike some of these schools, which is colonize the neighborhood, they're trying to make different choices. But that's where we have to invest, so that perhaps we could build higher structures. Perhaps we could build off-campus housing that's not directly on campus, but nearby. These are all things that we can do, but it requires alum to donate. Friends with the Dealer is a great name. So how do I become a member? There's a link you can find inside of the comment section. Or if you watch on a PC, the join button will be right there. So either look in the link, read the comments for the link, or hit the join button on the desktop. But you can join, and we have different tiers. Family, please consider joining the channel. Some of y'all have been here for a year, watching, being part of the crew, but not joining. Please consider joining. If you have joined, please consider moving from bronze to silver. Just that extra $4 or so a month goes a long way for us if a lot of you do it. So just please consider it. You don't have to do it. I'm not begging you to make your life harder or to hit a financial hardship, but I am asking you to consider what it would mean to do that work for us. All right, family. Any other comments, questions? Yo, pink highlighter. Pink highlighter. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all so messy, man. Pink highlighter just gifted 1 MLH membership. Thank you for gifting that. I appreciate you. I'm grateful. Hopefully one of y'all snatch that up. Cool, cool, cool. Any other comments? Reading comments here. The campus isn't large enough, and they already have campus housing through the university. Okay. I think that seems to be. Watch Sinners. I have not seen Sinners yet, but I plan on watching it in a couple of days. I definitely want to see it. I'm hearing that it's like the best movie in years. People talking about it's going to change Hollywood. It got every other movie this year wiped down. Like, I don't know what's true and what's not, but I do know that there's no way I'm missing it. There's no way I'm going to miss this episode. There's just no way I'm going to miss this episode. That's all I'm going to say. Or this, not this episode, this iteration, this wave is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know how like there was a wave for Black Panther and everybody was in the theater to see that. You know how there's been waves for different holiday movies. There's been waves for Malcolm X. There's been waves for some of the Marvel stuff. There's been, you know, waves for Precious. There's waves for Moonlight to a lesser extent. Well, there's waves for this, and I just want to be. I don't want to miss it. Is all I'm gonna say. I don't want to miss it because that thing might be something special. Like somebody said, yeah, finally a good movie's out. It's so hard to find good movies, so I don't take that lightly. So no, I haven't seen it, but I will. Any other comments? Any other comments? Okay, y'all. Well, look, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're so inclined, hit that join button to become a monthly paid subscriber. It does make this job a lot easier to do. And y'all, it's April 22nd, so please consider joining the channel or just dropping something in our Cash App, our PayPal, our Venmo, our Zelle, any of those platforms. If you go here, you can drop something in. Again, there's no amount, as I always say, that's too small. If you just want to drop $1 in, that would be amazing, especially if everybody watching did. If you dropped $5 or $10, that would be amazing. Because again, we need the support. But if you can't do that, do what you can. If it's $1, that's fine. If it's $10, if it's $100, if it's $1,000, if it's $50,000, we could use the support because this is an independent media machine. We have no corporate checks. We have no mainstream outlets underwriting us. This is all done on the muscle. So please consider dropping something in Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. Again, no amount is too small, no amount is too big. We appreciate all of it. We appreciate every nickel of all of it. So just please, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I do want to add that if everybody watching tonight were to drop $5, if everybody were to donate $5, we would meet our financial goal for the month. So it's doable. We could pay our bills. We could break even. We could do some dope stuff if everybody who's watching right now were to donate $5. So please consider doing that. Shout out to Tiffany Jones, who just joined and became a member. We appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. It looks like that's it for now. I appreciate you. I love you. Y'all are the greatest. And I do mean that. Just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.